Hi, Sarah here from the Centre for Mental Health, and I hope all is well this week. Today I'm going to talk about the report that we published on Wednesday, Children of the Millennium. This is a long cohort study that we did in partnership with UCL since 2000 and really charts the pathway that children with conduct disorder experience throughout their young lives and into teenage years. What the report says is that 1 in 12 children will experience conduct disorder and multiple disadvantage because of that and mental health difficulties. The report goes into a huge amount of detail about the differences between boys and girls, the ages in which conduct disorder is at its most prevalent and what it's linked to. I won't go into all of that today, but do have a look at our website and read the report. We make a number of really important recommendations to government and others, which I will come back to shortly. But I think the report is really important for a number of different audiences. When I was listening to the findings and reading the detail, I read it as a parent. I heard what the experts were saying as a parent. My children are 5 and 8 years old, and sometimes it's difficult to know what they're communicating. Sometimes they do that through the way they behave. If children are not heard and understood or are able to access services, the report says that untreated conduct disorder and multiple mental health difficulties leads to disadvantage in life like no other childhood condition. That's why it's so important. That's why we want to see a different approach, and certainly an extension of the approach for children with conduct disorder that's happening around the country in different places. We certainly believe that conduct disorder with multiple mental health problems is better served by early intervention. For some, we know that poverty, housing, all of those factors really contribute to the vulnerability some children have to conduct disorders and other forms of distress. Those things are still vitally important for government to address. If we could get rid of austerity tomorrow, we certainly know that the impact on children would be extraordinary and probably quite quickly. But we know that some children absolutely need intervention, but with specialist help. We also think it's really important for parents to be able to understand what children are communicating, for them to know the tools that enable them to deal with their child's distress in a way that's better for them and for the child. Conduct disorder can be incredibly difficult to live with. It's really hard as a parent to make sure that you're always doing the right thing for your child. That's why we would like the government to continue and expand funding into Sure Start centres, parenting programmes, pre-parenting programmes, so even when mothers are pregnant. It makes absolute sense for parents to understand behaviour and communication of distress that children signal to us every day. We also want to make sure that schools are equipped to identify conduct disorder and multiple disadvantage. And we are urging the SEND, the Special Educational Needs Assessment process, to identify at the earliest opportunity those children who are most vulnerable with a number of factors. For instance, if you're a child with parental mental illness or physical illness, you are more vulnerable to conduct disorder than a child that hasn't got those experiences. As a result, we really need to pay attention to the whole family. Again, the Think Family approach is one that absolutely that we at the Centre for Mental Health support. You can't help a child in isolation. Parents, siblings, all need to understand the best way to get the child the help that they need. There are many things that we as parents can do, and certainly you can go on lots of websites to find tools and thoughts around meditation and mindfulness. But of course, for some children, that isn't enough, and that's when help is needed. The report goes into a lot of detail. Do take a look. But I would urge you, if you're a parent or if you're a teacher or if you're a policymaker or if you deliver services, it's really important for us to think about what children are communicating to us through their behaviour. We must remember that often children are not able to articulate the complexity of how they're feeling. We also know that children with warmth and love at home, that can be a huge mitigating factor. Of course, that makes absolute common sense. Children that are loved and cared for with tenderness and kindness are going to have very complex feelings kind of mitigated by warmth. But also we know that children who are unable to articulate, so might have language difficulties, are really vulnerable to being kind of labelled as a naughty child. We want to stop that. We want to see behaviour as a communication, as something that we need to understand and respond to. We don't have all the answers, but we know that there are steps that we can take to change the course of a child's life. Do read the report and let us know what you think. Do look for help if you need it. There's Parent Line that Young Minds run. There's Place to Be and a number of other resources. Do take a look. The report is complex, so you might want to read the executive summary like I did initially before I could understand the detail. But we're going to do more work on this. We certainly want to develop some very, very key messages for government to take on and to enable schools and parents to really understand the research in a way that can make a difference to them. So let us know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.